Hello, Internet. I'm Matt Haas, and I would like to tell you what I was doing for the last 2.5 months. A major web development project was completed, a complete code rewrite of a site I built over 10 years ago. In 2010, I started to build a website. It took several years. It has 600 users, dozens of simultaneous active users. Staff and external customers use the site. It tracks everything from the order all the way to accounts payable. And it's for a manufacturing business. So it tracks the product as it moves throughout the plant, and people check it in and check it out and do different tasks. And everything is hooked into it. It does barcodes, it does shipping, it does invoice creation. It takes files from the customer and puts it up in a secure FTP site, for lack of a better word. It's Amazon's S3 service. It needed to be rewritten. Now, why? Why did this need to be done? If it worked last week, why won't it work a week from now? These types of questions are completely valid. The answer is things change. Now, Amazon, for the most part, will say, tell us what server components you need. We'll spin them up, give them to you in the cloud, and you can do whatever you want with it. We're hands off. Except for their database service. The database we were using needed to be upgraded to a newer version, and the newer version would completely break the site. Why? Well, it turns out you need new code to interact with the new version of the database. Why the old code wasn't working on the newer database, I have no idea why it was engineered this way. So if I'm putting data in a database or I'm getting data out of the database and I'm doing those same thing on the new version, why do I need different code structure to make it work? But it needed to work. An email was sent October 20th, 2020 that said we're upgrading the database and you don't have a choice. And they gave us until February 9, 2021, a few short months to get it going. That was a devastating email. And if nothing would have happened on February 9th, you would have come to work, nothing would have worked, and it would have taken hours to get it up and running. When I say hours, 70 plus hours to get it up and running. You would have been dead in the water for weeks because no one can work 70 hours straight. I certainly didn't. But this video is being created after the launch, and it was successful. Few bugs day 1, 2, and 3. No bugs 4 and 5. So we're really happy about that. No customer-facing bugs. Some little things needed to be worked out. So let's take a look at how the site is constructed. You need a server, you need a drive connected to the server, and you need a database, and you need this special storage for customer uploaded files. So this is what it looks like on the architecture map. Each one of these is a different service that you rent from Amazon. To build the new site, a duplicate of everything was needed. And then the pages needed updated with the new code. How many pages? 283 pages. I know that sounds, there's two sites we're talking about. There's two sites that run under this platform. A lot of pages. How many lines of code? Well, it's definitely more than 200,000, and it's somewhere less than 400,000. I would estimate 300,000 lines of code is what exists into this system. And although a lot of it could have been done with search and replaces globally, it's not that easy. It is not that easy. So while we were updating this, we also decided to update a few more pieces of technology to bring everything up to modern standards. Another big piece of the way this is architected is what's put on the web server. So the web server has Apache, which is a web, it makes HTTP work. So it makes it into a web server, because servers can be other things besides web servers, apparently. So you need that. And then you need an FTP software, so some legacy systems at the corporate office can talk to it. And then you need PHP. PHP stands for Personal Homepage. It's sort of an old acronym. It's a piece of technology that talks to all of the components and throws plain HTML up to the web browser. In other words, to use the system I created, the only thing you need is a web browser. You don't need any extensions in your web browser. You don't need any third-party software in your web browser. You can use any web browser. It will all work because the browser thinks it's just getting HTML, when in fact, the PHP layer starts calculating things and doing things differently and throwing plain HTML up on the screen. In other words, if you chose to manufacture a hardcover book, well, PHP will know that you've chosen hardcover, and it will show you the hardcover specs. Does it need a jacket? How many colors are on the hardcover? Does it need foil stamping? If you're doing a paperback, it won't ask you those questions. That's PHP. So PHP is the intelligent decision make calculation type thing that sits between all of the server components and talks to the database and throws plain, clean HTML out to the end user. And that's actually a security thing too, because if you're just getting HTML, you really can't do nefarious things with plain HTML. So the development happened. We tested, and rewrote the code, and got the database working. And while we were doing that, we also updated PHP. Now, PHP, as I said, it thankfully didn't require such heavy code rewrites as MySQL. In other words, it upgraded gracefully. So all the old PHP code was working in the new version of PHP. And it just made sense to update the PHP too, because you want modern day stuff, because it was built 10 years ago. A lot happened. Do you know how long 10 years is in the tech industry? It's like 100 years in real life. But there were two things with PHP that were different. The way I was handling dates and the way I was clearing variables in looping code. It needed to be different. And those were kind of hard to find. So there were some things with PHP. Along with the new PHP, the SDK for Amazon needed to be updated. And then the things that relied on the SDK is a software development kit. It's a way to use features of a system with plain code mere mortals can understand, like web developers, not ones and zero codes of people who create the BIOS and operating systems and things like that. So I needed a new SDK. What does the SDK do? It does the email system, because there's auto emails as a feature. So you trigger different actions and emails fly out. And it does the S3 uploads, the file uploads. So the code for the email systems needed to be rewritten to take advantage of the new SDK. And the file uploads needed to be, the code for that needed to be rewritten to take care of the new SDK. So that's what changed. And I'm thrilled this is behind us. You now have a modern server architecture space for the system, and it's working. It wasn't easy, and I'm glad it's behind us. And as a result of this, the reports I'm getting is it's much faster. The system is so much faster. So along the way, I've optimized a few things, and yeah. But This was a serious issue. A critical system would have went down for weeks at this business, and it would have been devastating because staff and customers wouldn't rely on this primary system to help take orders, manage the workflow, deliver the orders, track the shipping, and generate the invoicing. That's, I don't know how much more major you can get as far as a piece of functionality of a business, but that's the business. So, web development. Why MySQL did you force new code to do the same thing on your new versions of your database? Why? I don't know why. I don't govern the database, the consortium that manages the database that we use. But there you go. That's what I did, and now you're set. Now you have a modern system, and it's going to run great, and I'm happy about it. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.